Flosstube. Welcome to my channel, Entangled in Stitches. My name is Angie, and I am happy to be here today, and I hope that you enjoy this time you get to spend with me and time I get to spend with you. So I'm grateful to finally be able to do this. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I finally just said it's gonna happen today, and here we are. So to be fair, I did try yesterday and wasn't real pleased. So today I said, we're just gonna start the camera. We're gonna talk about our projects, and whatever awkward thing comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. So I can't overthink it. I just need to talk about my projects. I think as crafters, we enjoy sharing our things that we're working on, and we enjoy learning from others and getting inspiration from others. So I know a lot of these projects were definitely inspired by most of you, many of you. So I'm hoping to share a little of that inspiration as well and meet some new people and kind of document my journey along the way. A little about myself. I live in West Michigan in a little town about 10 miles from Lake Michigan. So we do visit Lake Michigan often. It's probably one of my favorite parts about living here. So I can't imagine not living by Lake Michigan, especially in the summertime. It would be really difficult. And I live here with my husband, and we've lived here most of our lives. He's lived here all of his life. I've been here 40 of my 50 years. So we've been married 26 years, and we have a dog, Bo, and our son is 29. He lives out in Maine with his fiance, and then our daughter is 26, and she lives a couple of hours from us here in Michigan. So luckily, we get to see her often. We don't get to see our son nearly often enough, but that's how it is with adult kids. So, you know, it's fun to watch them spread their wings and learn all the things and do all the things, and that's the ultimate goal as parents, right? Is to see your kids just out there living life and doing well. So I have quite a few projects to share with you. I started stitching 2 years ago, so August 16th of 2023. So we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary of stitching. When I say our, my friend Sarah, you'll hear me talk about her quite a bit probably. So we enable each other a lot, like a lot. So she's kind of my person, and now we've roped Emily in, or my daughter, so we've gotten her on the bandwagon, and we've gotten Kevy, my future daughter-in-law, on the bandwagon a bit too. So it's fun to kind of share things with them as well. So I've been a paper crafter for 26 years, and I'm very much a paper crafter. So Nicole Spohr, that was also kind of what intrigued me to get into stitching. So I watch a lot of Nicole's videos, and then yeah, I don't know, I started stitching and I loved it, and I haven't paper crafted hardly, not very much. So I just now have been getting back into that again a bit more. So you might see some things pop in here from time to time. My daughter and I are learning to sew, so that's been really fun. That's been the last couple months that we've really tackled that. Somebody graciously gifted us a bunch of upholstery fabric, which is what's in these boxes behind me. I've overtaken our son's room. That's now become my sewing room, so has fabric spread all over basically. So we've been making market bags and working on some zipper bags, and it's been really fun to do that journey with my daughter. We've enjoyed learning that and doing that together, and looking forward to the next time we get together to do some crafting, definitely. But anyways, we will get right into this WIP parade. So I'm surrounded by piles, as you know, as floss tubers do. Yesterday when I tried my take 1, I had them in very nice, neat, organized piles that was oldest to newest, WIP. If you don't know what WIP stands for, that's work in progress. And now they are not in that same order, and I just was not gonna take the time to put them back in that order. So we're just gonna pick them up. I'm gonna tell you about them, and that's what we're gonna do. So I don't know how often I'll record, maybe once every couple weeks, once a month. Well, life, you know, I have a full-time job, so this is my hobby. I just want to share the things I make. So then my husband doesn't have to listen to me quite so much about it. I'm sure I'll still tell him a lot, but so all right, I think I am gonna start with what's on this table here. And first up we have, so this one is called Moon Deer by Owl Forest Embroidery. Many of you may have seen it. Let me take a look here and see if I can find a picture. You would think I would have learned yesterday to have these ready to go, but I didn't. So I'm gonna have to take a second to just pull this up. All right, so this one is called Moon Deer by Owl Forest Embroidery, and this one was inspired to make for my husband because he likes to hunt, and I just thought it was beautiful. It's so pretty. And I'm gonna try not to say that about every project, because obviously if they weren't pretty, I probably wouldn't be making them, right? Right. So try not to have too many glares. My son's bed behind me is covered in sewing projects now, so you might see some reflections of various bag patterns I have laid out, or in front of me, I should say. So that is Moon Deer by Owl Forest Embroidery. And I am stitching this on a 40 count Toasted Almond Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I'm at. I'm using a Vicki Clayton silk conversion for this. So that is, here we go, that's pretty good. That's pretty good color, what it looks like. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm really happy with my progress on these projects. Like, I don't have a lot of finishes yet, but I feel like I have a lot of really big projects. And so for only stitching for 2 years and as many projects as I've started, I feel like I've made good progress on them. There was 4 of them when I went through this, all my projects to get ready for this WIP parade. There was 4 of them that I got rid of. Either I didn't like the fabric, I didn't like the floss, I just didn't love it. So I said, you know what, I am not gonna spend my time doing something I'm not totally happy with. And so those have been put away. I'll get them out again and restart at least 2 of them. A couple of them I might not. But at least 2 of them will be restarted in the future with either different flosses or different fabrics. So sorry, I am gonna get sweaty and hot up here because I am upstairs in my son's bedroom and we do not have central air. So I can't have the fans and air conditioners on or it's gonna make too much noise, and it's probably 90 degrees and humid today. So yeah, I'm just gonna get sweaty. That's the way it is. Not much I can do about it unless you want to listen to air conditioner noise. So that is project number 1. And this one was, I don't have very many project bags, so I said I wasn't gonna go down that rabbit hole, but here we are going down that rabbit hole. This one I bought off of a D-Stash group. I think it was from a lady named Deb Walker, and it's so pretty. I love it. It's quilted. It's just finished really nice on there, and it wasn't that much. Like, I don't know, it's really pretty. So I like that a lot. Now that I've gotten a few project bags, and with my sewing, I'm learning how to make them. And so now I feel like every project needs a pretty project bag, which That's why I named my channel Entangled in Stitches, because I feel like it's just one rabbit hole after another that I'm going down right now. First the stitching, now the sewing, and now the project bags, and it just keeps evolving. And so, but that's okay. Let's see where am I gonna put these today. I'll put this one down here. Okay, next up we have another big one. Probably most of you have seen this. This is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers, and I started this on on February 29th of 24 as my leap year project, with the goal I would have it done in 4 years. So unless I start stitching a lot on it, that's not gonna happen. We'll see, but it's not looking good right now, because by February of 26 I should be halfway done, and I'm not on track to do that. So, but this is Pandemic. Sorry about the glare. This is the original. I went and had a working copy made to work off of. So there's the original, and I have the flosses for that stored in this beautiful little box. I also love to go to the thrift store. You'll hear me talk about the thrift store a lot because we have a great little thrift store in our town, and I love to go in there and see what treasures I can find. So this box, I thought, like, this emblem on here reminded me of the COVID germ, like the red COVID germ. So I said, well, that's fitting. So I put my flosses in here, and then I have a lot more extra floss stored with my project. But yeah, it's just a pretty little box. I have a box addiction, so I love collecting little boxes for things. And so here's where I'm at, which I love it. I think it's so cool looking. Like those colors, just, it's for 2 floss colors. I love like the variety, how you can mess with them and use certain colors of that red to get the effect to make it look like it's more floss colors than it is. So that's really been fun to mess around with. But yeah, unless I get moving on it, I'm not gonna have this done by leap year. We'll see. It is scrolled. I have a little bit down here, so it is rolled up in there in the scroll frame a bit. But yeah, that one is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. And that's stitched on a 25 count Lugana Easy Grid 1/1, and I am using DMC 115 for the red and Anchor Black for the black. And I really like that Lugana Easy Grid, although I'm pretty nervous about when I go to wash it, what's gonna happen, because all those grid lines are gonna have to be soaked out, and I worried that the 115, that red, is gonna bleed. We'll see. I think I'll put a couple color catchers in with it and hope for the best. So I guess maybe it'll be on some pink fabric. We'll see. Cross that bridge when we get there. And project number 3. This one I started for my son, and I started this one on February 3rd of 24, and this was a stitch along that my friend Sarah, a lot of the projects that I'm doing, her and I definitely enable one another a lot. A lot. Like, we say, okay, we're gonna be good this month. Well, then we make up for it the next month by starting double or buying double. So it's kind of, we just shouldn't even say that. Like, we know it's not gonna stay true. All right, and this one, so let me pull up a picture. This is by Climbing Goat Designs, if I didn't say this. And here's what this one looks like when it'll be finished. Sarah finished hers. I'm not finished, obviously, or it wouldn't be in my WIPs, but it's really cool. So yeah, I'm making this for my son because him and his fiance are gamers and dragons, and And it is stitched on an 18 count Dragon's Breath Afterglow, and that's the called for fabric. And here is where I am at. And I sure feel like my lighting was better yesterday than it is today. It's not great today. I'm going to pause this and open the curtain. Hold on just a minute. Okay, let's see if that's better. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so this is so cool. Like, look at how fun that is. This one is an exception to if I don't love stitching on it, I'm not gonna do it. I don't love stitching on this. Like, I love how it looks. I love the coverage. Like, I think it is going to turn out fabulous. But I'm doing 2 strands of floss over one on the 18 count Aida. And so it's a very tight coverage, which is fabulous. It looks really good. It's just not that, it's tight to stitch on. So it's not as enjoyable once you stitch with silks and that. It's just a little rougher. But it is beautiful. Like, it's going to be a really cool piece. So that was supposed to be for his birthday, like in 2024, and well, here we are, past his birthday in 2025, and it's not done. So I've since learned that I don't commit to when I will have a project done for a gift. Like, so I'm making this with my son in mind. I've told him I'm making it because I want to be sure they like it, because it's a lot of work. So he'll get it when he gets it. Might be next year, might be 4 years. We'll see. I don't want to have a ton of deadlines because it's a hobby and it needs to be fun. All right, next up we have Quaker Snowflakes by Hello from Liz Matthews. And this one I bought during our very first Jingle Ball. And here's the pattern. So I'm doing this colorway right here. And I am stitching this on just a Hobby Lobby fabric, a 32 count Murano. I don't know if you say it Care, C-A-R-R-E. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But it was $5. I mean, you can't, and I think I might have got it half off, so it might have even been $2.50. But you can't beat that. And here's the color. So it's really pretty on here. Like, I don't have very big margins, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If I have to sew some fabric on to finish it, I don't know if it's gonna be, you know, like a throw pillow or if it's gonna get framed. I'm really not sure. We'll see when I get it done what I feel like doing with it. And I'm stitching this with Michael's Navy by Weeks Dye Works. That's a really pretty blue. So yeah, just really, really pretty blue. I'm gonna try turning this light on just to see if it makes any difference. Yeah, better, worse, just shines on my glasses. Maybe it's better to see the stitching at least. Okay, we'll try it and see. I told myself I'm not stopping this video today. Like, I'm gonna get it done. I'm not gonna overthink it. I don't remember if I said that at the beginning, so it is what it is. All right, so there's that one. And then, oh, this one is gonna be like the 10-year project. I have him and hawed over this project so much. I originally wanted to do all of them, and then I said, no, I'm not gonna do all of them. And then I said, yes, I'm gonna do all of them. And then I went back and forth. Then I was gonna do them individually, and then I was gonna do them all in the same fabric. And then I settled on doing them separate, and then my husband said, no, I think it would look really nice all on one project. So now it's going to be my 10-year project. That's going to be the goal. So most of you have probably seen this. It is the Fabulous House series and by Cottage Gardens Samplings. So I do have all of the patterns. I joined the Fat Quarter Shop Club and got one a month while they were being released. So I do have all of them. I think this light is now glaring on my glasses, but oh well. So this is fun. This is the cottage. I completed the Santa house, and then that one I cut apart, and because I didn't like the fabric. That's one of the things. I bought 3 pieces of fabric for this project. So it's been quite the conundrum for me right along. And I finally am really happy with this fabric, and now that I have all the patterns, I've done a different layout design on how I'm going to arrange them. So I feel like the colors of the houses are a little more balanced, and I'm going to leave out the Santa's house because I already stitched that one. And I'm also going to leave out the Halloween house because those are both very seasonal. So I'm leaving those 2 out, and I'm going to put 11 houses. There was 13 released total. So I'm going to put 11 houses, and then in the middle, I'm going to put some type of a quote about home, I think. I don't know what yet. I have a couple in mind, but I'm not 100% sure. So here's where I am. I'm not going to take this out of the Q-snap because it's a half a yard of fabric. Like, it's a lot of fabric on here. And this is a 40 count lunar by Bee Stitch Me. So I love it now that I switched it up. Like, so it's a 40 count, and it is 1/2 on that 40 count. And these are really, it's really fun to stitch. Like, I like the repetitiveness, like when you get into the pattern of this and that and the pattern of that, like it's nice and repetitive. It's very enjoyable. I just don't pick it up as often as I should because I have so many other things that I'm focusing on right now. So yeah, it's probably gonna take 10 years, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. When it gets done, it gets done. So that is that one, and that one I have in a project bag that I got off of Etsy. I don't know who I got it from. I thought I have the name written down somewhere, but yeah, it's a nice project bag. If you want to know who it was by, just shoot me a message and or leave a comment. If you leave a comment down below, I can certainly look where I have it written down or in my Etsy and let you know. And I got the little notions bag to go with it. So, and I love that it fits an 11 by 11 Q-snap. Like, not a lot of project bags do. So that's nice that it fits this project in there pretty nicely. Keeps it all secure. I have all my other patterns tucked away, so I'm not overwhelmed by keeping them all in the bag because it's a lot. Ooh, the piles are just growing in here. Tomorrow, I don't have to work tomorrow, so I need to do some cleaning tomorrow. Bad. Like, this room, holy cow, it is definitely been stuff thrown everywhere. All right, so next up, I have the Stephen King house, and this was the first fabric I bought for the Fabulous House series, and I didn't like it at all for that, but it's turned out to be a great fabric for some spooky projects. So this one I'm making for my daughter, and again, she does know about it because I wanted to make sure she would like it. She's an avid reader, and Stephen King is one of her favorite authors. So this is the Stephen King house by the Witchy Sister. I think you can see that probably, hopefully, which is really cool. And this is stitched on a 40 count barnwood. 40 count really is my jam. I have some other projects and other things, but I really like using one strand of floss on 40 count, and I love how teeny tiny the stitches are. I just like it. So that's where I'm at on this one. It looks so good. Like now I'm to a place that I can, you know, I can start going out. Sorry, drop that. I can, let's see why people use little clips. So I can start finishing up over here, and now I can start doing the rooms. Got to finish filling that in. But yeah, how cool is that? It's just really, really detailed. So that's enjoyable to work on. And then here's all the colors for that. I started out using the floss cards. I don't love them. They're just not my favorite. I really do like floss drops, so but I'm not gonna take all of these off to put them on floss drops. And that says the called for fabric, so that was kind of like a sign I needed to do it because I had the fabric, and I said, well, there's no reason not to do it. You have the fabric, you just need to buy the pattern. So all right, and then we have this one is another one that Sarah and I started together with the best of intentions. We started this one on New Year's Day of 2024, so January 1st of 2024. It's also when I started the Stephen King's house, was 2024, January 1st. This is Flower a Day by Carolyn Manning. So we really were going to get this all done in a year. Like on the cover, this was before I knew that you should make a working copy and shouldn't write all over your pattern. So this one I'm highlighting and just writing right in the book. It's fine. So I drew grid lines here, and with the intention that that was kind of like a rough draft of where we needed to be every month to have this done in a year. And well, when you see my progress, you'll know that that didn't work, but I love it. Here's the colors. I mean, there's so many colors. Most of these are called for. Some of them are substituted with another color that's very similar. I tried to use my stash on this and not go buy all of the exact called for flowers because it really doesn't matter. But here we are on that, and it's so pretty. Like, I love how this looks. I love all of the little details on it. I think it looks so pretty. I stitched this one in hand, no hoop or anything, just in hand because it's on a 16 count ice blue Ada by Zweigert. It's really easy to stitch on using 2 strands of floss over 1 square. And there's a lot of details in these flowers. So I envision this being a really pretty throw pillow. Like, that's how I think I want this finished, because it's gonna be big, and even though it's a ton of work to like throw on the couch, I think, you know, she's gonna be pretty good size. I think it would just make a really pretty big pillow. I'll have to keep my dog off of it, obviously. Like, maybe I'll even just sit it on the back of the couch, you know. I don't really want people leaning on it, using it, whatever, but I mean, I guess that's what things are for, right? It's to love them. So we'll see what happens. I just don't want dog hair all embedded in it, because when you have a dog, that's what happens. But so yeah, that's Flower a Day by Carolyn Manning. All right, and then this one, ooh, I don't want to lose this. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to pop my head down, and I don't want to lose what things go with what, or that's gonna be really, really complicated to figure it back out. So I'm a pretty organized person and I like things a certain way. So having all of this stuff like spread all out around me right now and everything out of its bags is actually giving me anxiety, and so I can't wait tomorrow to put everything back in its respective home. All right. And this one I started for our 25th wedding anniversary. And I started this on December 29th of 2023. I had to think about that. So our anniversary is actually the 30th, but we had plans, so I didn't want to commit to having to cross stitch on our anniversary. So, but I wanted to start something to, you know, represent 25 years because that's kind of a big deal. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that we've made it 25 years. So, well, 26 now. But this is Anniversary Gift by Scissortail Designs. And it's really hard to see in the picture. It's not easy to see, but it's really nice. So this is stitched on the called for fabric, which is a 32 count pearl gray linen. And yeah, you can see it. So, and it has beads. So I have the beads because I have a note that says have the beads. So they must be in my bead storage. But yeah, so I think that's going to be really, really pretty once you add the beads in that. And then you put in the middle, it has like 2 little birds. And then you put your initials in the year that you're married, like 2 little lovebirds. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully my lighting will get better. It's kind of gross out. It's getting dark, so we're just going to have to deal with it. It's late. I had to work today, so and I don't want to spend all day tomorrow doing this, so. All right. And that is stitched with chalk. I am using Chalk Floss by The Gentle Art. And, all right, so there's that one. And then this one was, I don't think, it wasn't my very first stitch along. It was my second stitch along, I think. Yeah, my second stitch along. And our first Jingle Ball, so we had no idea what the Jingle Ball was, which if you know, you know now. Like most cross stitchers, I feel like if you're in the YouTube world at all, watch Flosstube, you probably know what the Jingle Ball is, put on by Lindy Stitches. It's so much fun for $10. Like, it's an online virtual retreat, and they have some exclusive patterns. This was a pattern by, I'm pretty sure it was Satsuma Street. It could have been Tiny Modernist. So I have a bad habit of getting those two mixed up, and I don't have it written down for sure. Sarah's probably will be yelling at the computer or the phone, the YouTube, telling me which one it is. But I love this. Sarah finished hers. So, and I didn't iron any of my fabrics. I don't want to iron things until I'm done with them. I feel like it's not good for them. And I don't like to iron my clothes, so I'm just not going to iron cross stitch projects for this. I'm not. Sorry, I can hear someone outside. I don't know if you can hear that, but all right. So this is just really, really pretty. And this fabric, so Carol, when she gifted us all of this floss that started this giant rabbit hole, this fabric was in there, and I think it's a fiddler's cloth, and it's actually really nice to stitch on. I really like the vintagey, antique-y feel. It's you know, with the bright, bold colors. I like this combination a lot. These colors are really fun. So they're really pretty. And I used all of the called for on that, and I'm about done. Maybe this year I'll get it done for Christmas. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. moving along. Thanks for hanging in there. Okay, this one is our full moon stitch. Since we both have jobs, Sarah and I do, that people get a little out of control during the full moon, we thought it was fitting that we have a full moon stitch to work on a certain project that, you know, we wanted to do. And I'm sure Sarah is probably a lot more farther than I, because I haven't worked on it in quite a while. So I've been really bad the last few months on this one, because there's just been other things I'm working on. You know how it goes. You start with the best intentions and then it just falls to the wayside, but that's fine. Let me try to find my files. Holy cow, where'd they go? Here we go. Okay, so this one is Full Moon, and this is by hold on, what's the name of it? Moon Phase Bell Pull is the name of it. And it is by Tiny Modernist. Here. So that's what it looks like. And it's really nice. I think that's going to be really cool to have some beads on there in place of all of those little, all those stars. Put some sparkly beads or some crinite, like some sparkle. That's going to be fun. I'm getting really sweaty. Sorry, it's hot up here. It's very hot. Here's where I'm at. And I don't remember what my fabric is. I think it's a Witchelt. I don't know. It's really stiff. So I also stitched this one in hand without any type of a frame or a Q-snap or anything. But look at how fun that is. So that's where I'm at. Whew. All right. I'm going to pause you for 1 second here. Okay, I just needed to get a quick drink. So this one is stitched with all the called for, and is stitched 2/2, I think. Nope. Yeah. No, 1/2. So it must be a 40 count, I'm guessing, because it's 1/2. So it must be a 40 count, and it's gonna be little. It's gonna be really cool hanging up. I'm excited to see these things like actually hanging in our home someday. Who knows when, but someday. If I don't stop starting things, it's gonna be even longer. Okay, I don't want that pile to tip over, so let's start another one. All right, and that one lives in a little bag, just a little pouch that I got off a D-Stash group. Lady was selling these, very inexpensive, like $5, not much. So I bought a few of them. They're fun, cute little handy pouches. And this one was my very first sale, and this is by Tempting Tangles, and I love this. I think it is so pretty. It's just beautiful. I had a card here. I don't know where I put it. Losing things. Here it is. Sorry. Okay. So this one is called Turn Back Time. I'm not going to pull up the picture. It's on my iPad, but you get the idea of what it's going to look like. Like this part down here is just a repeat of this part. It's just a repetitive pattern. But look how gorgeous that is. Like, it's so pretty. And this is stitched on a 36 count antique white Edinburgh linen, using the called for dinky dyes 2/2. And I started this November 9th of 2023. I would love to get this done because it's beautiful. There really is no reason I haven't finished this, other than I just haven't pulled it out. And it's so pretty. I like working on it. So originally, because there's a clock in each corner, I was going to put each of our times of our birth in those clocks, and then in the middle I was gonna put a little thing that said turn back time. But as I've gotten working on it, it's smaller in the middle than I thought, so I'm actually gonna put some clock hands and turn it into a real clock, and I'm gonna take these out. I'm not gonna put those corner things. I'm gonna finish it into a round clock. And I have some clock parts that my neighbor passed away, was in like her sewing kit that her kids gave me, and so I have some clock parts that were in there, and I think that'd be really cool to put in there as kind of like a tribute from those, like that's where they came from. So if they work, I don't know for sure if they do, but I think it'd be an actual really nice clock. So that's my plan for that. And that is stitched using the Dinky Dyes silks, and they're beautiful. Like, look how pretty these are. So yeah, it's my first time using any type of a silk thread, and they're Dinky Dyes. And this was a mystery sale, so you got a little bit. Sale stands for stitch along if you're not sure. So it was a mystery stitch along where every week or two you got another part, and then you see what the finished design looked like at the end. So I didn't keep up normal, which is no shocker, not a surprise. And now it's fully available. At the time it was not, it was only available as the sale, but now it is fully available. So anybody can go and buy it, and that's by Tempting Tangles if you like it. And then next up we have this elegant creature. So this is the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. I think that he or she, either he is very majestic or she's very beautiful and sophisticated. But I think that one's really cool. I'm now getting the Year in the Woods 2 from Cottage Garden Samplings. I joined that club on Fat Quarter Shop, so every month I get one of the animals. I have no idea when I'll stitch them. Eventually I would like to collect all of them in this first series, because I like to collect series. I just like the whole series. I don't know why. Just something I do. I'm the same way with paper crafting. Like if I wanted one ink color by a company, I wanted all of the ink colors by a company. It's fine. Whew, this humidity is definitely showing its colors. Okay, so here's where I'm at on Mr. Fox. And look how cute he is. Oh, he's scrumptious. So that is stitched 1/2 on 40 count Mirage by Picture This Plus, and that's the called for fabric. And yeah, this one I'm also stitching in hand, although I think I did start to use a hoop the last time. At first I stitched everything in hand, and then I figured out, my stitches do look a little better if I use a hoop or a scroll frame. And then I got on the Lowry stand wagon, so now I have a Lowry stand with a nice light magnifier on it, and I really love that because I have a bad shoulder, and so I feel like being able to stitch two-handed with that Lowry stand, it reduces any wear and tear on my shoulder that could be happening. I'm trying to preserve my shoulder because I need a replacement, and I do not want to do that yet in life. So trying to take good care of that shoulder. All right, and now we have, this one is called Begin by Bent Creek, and this was my third project I ever started. And this was the first time I went to a physical store and got to, second time actually, because my very first project was bought at a craft store, but it was just a kit. They didn't have like where you could buy the linen and the fancy flosses and the fabric. So this was my first time going to Country Needleworks. It's about an hour and a half from me, and getting to see like, ooh, modern cross-stitch fabrics from what they were 20 years ago. So this one is called Begin by Bent Creek, and it has some little buttons, these white buttons. It has those with it. And originally I was gonna start this to motivate me to get back to exercising very regularly. So far it hasn't, and I've had it for a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I guess it's just not a motivational exercise cross stitch for me. Surprise, surprise. And it's stitched on the Called For Confederate Gray by Weeks Dye Works. That's a very good color representation. That's where I'm at. It stitches very quickly. I bet you I haven't pulled this out in at least a year. I know I haven't touched it this year. It's probably been a solid year since I've worked on this. And there's no excuse. Just haven't done it. And I like it, so I need to do that. And that's using all of the Called For threads. Or flosses. Flosses, I guess, is the right term. Overdyes. My first journey into overdyes was this project and learning how to use them. So this is my first project for that. That was Begin by Bent Creek. And then this was the second project I ever started. I have my first and second project coming up here. So this project was in that stash of stuff that Carol had gifted us, and holy cow. I'm not gonna pick all these up, but I have a ton of flosses for this, ton of them. Like, look at that. What a mess. I mean, they're organized on cards, but there's so many flosses that I pulled because it was a kit originally, and Carol had stitched it. She had it hanging on her wall, and I thought it was really cool. And then when I was going through the stuff she gave us, the pattern was in there. So it's an Old Horizons kit, and let's see if it says what year. It doesn't say what year, but I feel like it was like from the 80s when I looked it up. Maybe the 90s. It was old. But it was really pretty on her wall. And I thought that my mom, maybe my sister, I'm not sure yet, one of them will like it, or I might keep it. We'll see. I get attached to things. Do you do that? I get attached to the things I work on. So this one is stitched on a 32 count Jobelin. I don't know the color. Bought it at Country Needleworks, or actually Sarah picked it out at Country Needleworks for me. She was sending me pictures because I told her, this was before she started stitching, and I told her what I wanted, and she so graciously went there because she lives by there, and she kept sending me pictures, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. It's like a sky fabric. So I had no idea what colors to use. So then I also had to buy this pattern here, and this is by Stony Creek. And so I pulled colors that are used in here to kind of help me get an idea for the birds in here. So between the cover photo and this, I'm just kind of making it up as I go. That's why I have so many flosses. So no rhyme or reason. We're just gonna make it up as we go along and see what happens. But it's really nice to work on. It's gonna be really pretty. Okay, let's get this one over here. And then next up, so this was my very first project. Well, technically second, because I did do a cross stitch project back, when I was like 18. So what, 32 years ago? My hair's getting frizzy. 32 years ago. And I did a terrible job on it, messed it up. I was like 18. I had no idea what I was doing, and they didn't have Flosstube and YouTube, and I was just reading some paper directions. It was Lavender and Lace Spring Angel, and it was a disaster. So I might still have it like in my box of keepsakes from like high school. It's very possible I do, but I've not looked in there to see. I don't remember if I kept it or if I was like, oh, this is terrible, and got rid of it. It seems like I got something spilled on it or something. Here's all the flosses for this upcoming one. So I took all of these off of the floss cards that came with the kit and made my own floss card because I wanted the strings shorter. Now I would have kept them the length that they were because I've since learned about the loop start, and that longer string would have been nice for that, but that's okay. So this is Dimensions Fall Fairy. And that same weekend we had gone to Carol's and she had given us all that stuff. This was on clearance at the craft store, Arnie's. They've since closed. And it was like half price. It was like 25 bucks. And I just thought she was so pretty. So why not jump in both feet into a Dimensions full coverage with half stitches, full crosses, Krynic, beads. Let's just do that for our very first project. It's a great idea. And so we did. And I think she's coming along really nicely. I haven't worked on her probably in a year either. I gridded all of the fabric with some of my husband's fishing line, some like 3-pound tests or something. So I gridded all the fabric and I'm back stitching as I go. And again, I didn't know about making a working copy, so I'm highlighting the pattern. I should go make a copy now. But oh, she's so pretty. Like, she's gonna be beautiful when she gets done. I'm excited to have her done someday. I originally said it was going to take me a year, but that was before I started 35 other projects. Before I knew what was really going to happen, right? Those of you that are monogamous stitchers, I commend you. So I get bored and I like to just try everything. I think that's my problem. I'm very much a process crafter and process stitcher, so I enjoy trying different fabrics, trying different flosses, trying different designers, trying hoops, trying scroll rods, trying all of the things to see what I like, and you know, that's how we learn. And I'm the same way with paper crafting. Like, I have a lot of different projects going at any given moment. I get them done, it's just a lot of projects, and I jump around. All right, that's another pile empty. I don't feel like we're making much headway. I should probably talk faster or speed up. Okay, this one is just a cute little one I bought off the D-Stash group. It's called There's Always Something to Be Thankful For. And that's by Cottage Needleworks. Cute little design. And these I just pulled some flosses from my stash. Not nearly all of the colors, because maybe it is. No, it's not. There's a couple I'm missing in there. But it is To Be Thankful. And this is my sad little start. I don't know what this fabric is. I thought I wrote it down. It could be the called for. I really have no idea. But just a little start on that. Nothing too much to talk about there. And then this one is Painted Flowers by Shakespeare's Peddler. And this one I think is really pretty too. I mean, obviously I think all of them are pretty, or I probably wouldn't be doing them. So, for it to load. Okay. Load. That reminds me of like a scrapbooking thing back in the day. Layout of the day. You remember that at all? Doing that challenge where you did 30 layouts in a month? That was fun. All right. So that is Painted Flowers by Shakespeare Peddler. And I'm using the called for, but I don't have very many with it because I'm going to show you why. here's where I'm at. Oh, and look how fun that is. Oh, it's so fun. I love, like, the colors. Oh, I love it. And this is stitched on a 32 count charcoal gray Lugana, and it is 2/2 on the 32 count. Oh, and it's so pretty. But here's why I don't have all of the flosses in some of my projects, because on the couch where I stitch, I have this fun box that I bought at the thrift store, and I loved it. Didn't know what I was going to use it for, but I just thought it was a cool little wooden caddy. And I covered these, made some little foam things to put in the bottom of it. So on one side I put whatever project I'm currently working on, like the flosses for that. So this is for one of them that you'll see coming up. And then on the other side I have my multi-ring. So I'm starting to get tired of buying DMC when I know I have like 3, 4, 5, 6 of some of the colors. They're just in multiple projects. So now if a project uses the same color DMC and it's already in another project, I write multi-ring on a card and put it in on the floss thing of the other one for that color, and I have that color on this multi-ring, because it's just a lot easier than having duplicates and triplicates, and you know, I mean, you can only have so much floss, right? You're never going to use all of it. So that's how I do that. And this sits next to me where I stitch, so they're easily accessible. Eventually I'm going to make a cute little cover for it. Right now I just have this piece of fabric thrown over top. It sits there. But yeah, eventually I'm going to make a cute little cover with a hole in it, now that I think I'm a seamstress and can do that, or a sewist. I think that's the word, a sewist. So that's on my to-do list. I want to make one of these days, maybe tomorrow, never know. All right, so that is Painted Flowers by Shakespeare Peddler. We're almost an hour in. Holy cow. I felt like I talked less yesterday. This next one is The 4 Elements by Satsuma Street. And get that pulled up here for you. So it's loading. It's loading. It's here. And look how pretty that is. Wait till you see these colors. That is, so look at these colors. They are gorgeous. Holy cow, I love them. And I think these are just the called for, no, these are Cosmo flosses. These are all Cosmo, so I wanted to try those. So I bought the floss pack from the Satsuma Street site. She has floss packs that go with her kits. So I bought the floss pack. And here's my little start. Not much to show. This is on a 28 count Monaco 2/2. And Monaco, it's very thick, but you can stitch in hand on it really easy, so that's good. But it's not bad to stitch on. It's just not nice, like luxurious like linen is per se, but definitely got some heft to it. All right, next up we have this Owl Forest embroidery by, it's Mushrooms and Toadstools, and I think the pattern was free, I'm pretty sure, on their site. Like, it was a stitch along that they did. Might have been, I think it was last year's stitch along actually, so I'm pretty sure that the pattern is free. And my daughter does not like this one. She doesn't understand my love for mushrooms, but you can, yeah, I just like mushrooms. You can see my box reflecting. I have my phone sitting on that and my concoction I have built up here. So there's that. I'm working on this big mushroom right in the middle. And I bought, or Sarah and I went in on an owl forest embroidery to save on shipping. It's nice when you have a friend you can do that with, for sure. So I bought the called for fabric, upside down, because it has all of these ferns and things on it, which I thought really added a lot to the piece. So I'm working on this little bunch of those mushrooms right there. And since I was buying the fabric and we were paying shipping, I bought the threads to go with. So these are the beautiful owl forest flosses. Oh man, they're so pretty. And they come on these pretty little cards and these cute little skeins. I've since bobbinated them and put them on the bobbins that come with them. But yeah, so those are nice. How pretty they are. I gotta quit looking up like that. I don't really know where to look. I'm just making it up as I go along. I don't know. I'm just looking. Oh. Alright, so that was Mushrooms and Toadstools by Owl Forest Embroidery. They have some really cool patterns. I have the black vintage sampler, I think it's called, and bought the floss for that. And then I bought these cool balls to make. Like, yeah, those are fun. I haven't started either of them. I'm trying to behave, believe it or not. Like, I'm trying to not start anymore. All right, this one is called Una Owl by the Artsy Housewife. How cute is she? Like, she's so cute. And I'm obsessed with this little piece of fabric. I bought this on our way back from Maine when we drove out there. We did it as a road trip this last time, and my husband and I had so much fun. Like, we've never really done a big road trip since our kids were little like that. And it was just him and I, and we had a great time. Like, we ended up at some horse races, and he was such a good sport. We stopped at some craft stores, and yeah. So this is where I'm at. And this fabric, I bought it because it was $7. That's why I bought it. It was a 46 count and it was $7. I had no idea. I didn't pay any attention to the size on the tag, and it was literally 9 by 8, this little tiny piece. So that explains why it was $7. But how perfect is that for this pattern? I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I just liked it, thought it was pretty. It was $7 and it's perfect. So, and that's a 46 count, so I am doing 1/2, and I definitely cannot do that in hand. That needs magnification and a hoop and all the things, and I'm using the called for on that. So I have a hodgepodge. Got some overdyes and some DMCs in there. And then this one lives in a really, really fancy project bag that also we got on our way back from Maine, right here from the Crafty U. Don't be jealous. I know, it's a good one. But that's because this goes to the beach with me. So I have 2 travel projects. In the summertime, I love the beach. So when I go to the beach, or yeah, my daughter and I should say, it's usually her and I that go. When we go to the beach, this is the project I take in this fancy project bag. And that is Plunky Chickens by Satsuma Street. I'm not going to take the time to pull up a pattern because I think most of you have seen this. I'm on chicken number 1. These finish into cute little chicken, and when you pick it up, they say things on the bottom. Like this one says, "What the cluck," when you pick it up. Like, it's just funny. So I'm excited to have those finished as like a little display in my house. And then I actually pulled out, so I have quite a bit of wool craft for my paper crafting that I've used for stitching on and various things to make little elements. And so I was able to go through my wool craft and find pieces to finish them off. So that's good. Kind of feel like my paper crafting is really coming full circle here. Like, it's helping. I'm using a lot of that in some of this, so that's kind of fun to incorporate the 2 hobbies. All right, next up we have Dutch Bird 1919. And this one, I am so excited about this project bag. This is the second project bag I've made. I just made this past week, and I followed, I think it's Carrie at Tiger Lily Designs. I think that's her name. It's Tiger Lily Designs. I think her first name is Carrie. But she had a tutorial on how to make a patchwork project bag using 2.5-inch squares. So I bought a mini charm pack, and one day last week I sat here and it took me probably 4 or 5 hours because I'm learning. And she does this technique where you iron it to the interfacing and then you sew them together, and so you end up with these perfect points every time. So it's so cute. And this was a, I forget the name of the mini charm pack I used. And then this fabric, I mean, you can see it's not perfect. This line's a little crooked, but for my first time, this fabric I got at the thrift store. You know, I'm very blessed to have a great little thrift store here in town, and I get a lot. They're like my dealer. That's what they are. They're my dealer. So, yeah. So I think I'm just so happy, and I'm trying really hard to resist the urge to join the Fat Quarter Shop mini charm pack club. My daughter's the voice of reason, and Sarah is my enabling voice. So when I messaged Sarah, she says, oh, that would be really fun to get them every month. And then when I message my daughter, she's like, you don't need that. So, you know, take your pick on who's going to win that battle. But I'm trying to resist because I have a lot of things. I have a lot of fabric I've thrifted. I don't need to do them. But I think it would be, and I'm trying to save money. Like, our son's getting married in January. I need to save money. So I need to not buy stuff. But how fun would it be to get 4 little mini charm packs every month and be able to make 4 project bags? Like, that would be so great. Whew, I'm sweating. All right, hold on. I'm gonna pause. Okay. Not sure if I'm having hot flashes or if I'm just really hot, but maybe both, because whew, holy cow. All right, so this one is Dutch Bird 1919, and Kim the Contented Needleworker had showed this, and I just think it's so pretty. And I'm stitching this on a 38 count Himalayan fog linen, legacy linen. This came from Hobby House Needleworks, you can tell by the paper bag. And this is where I'm at. Gonna be really pretty. I was worried about the blanc there. I was worried about that ghosting, but I think it'll be okay. It's kind of ghosty when you look at the cover photo as well, so I think the more you do, the it'll be okay. And Sarah graciously gifted me the Vicki Clayton silk conversion for this. So here is the silk conversion. She contacted Vicki and had her do a conversion. So there's that. If you would like to also have that conversion, there's that. But yeah, so thank you, Sarah. That was so sweet of you. She's such a sweet friend. I love her. All right, there's that. Oh, sorry. I forget how loud things are, which is why I took everything out of these bags and have the giant mess that I have. All right, this next one is a challenge. And I knew it would be a challenge going into it. And it's a challenge, mainly because I have a mistake. And I don't really know where my mistake is. I've looked, and then my husband ended up finding it, I think. So I'm pretty sure he found it, but I don't know for sure. Like, I need to go through and count on it more and look at it more and figure it out. And I see where I have it at. Sorry. I'm just gonna Google it. It'll be faster. My daughter recently got me the iPad for Christmas, and I don't have, if I haven't worked on it, I haven't. This one, I haven't, it didn't convert into markup RXP very good, so I'm doing it on GoodNotes, and I don't think I put a cover photo in there. But it is a chatelaine. It's the Octopus Cove by Chatelaine. Octopus Treasure Cove. Let me try to spell. Octopus Treasure Cove, Chatelaine. Okay, here we go. And it's, so this is from the Remarkably Bright Creatures. We don't need my husband to see the price of what I paid. I did not pay that. I mean, I'm sure we did on the flosses and that, but so this is the Octopus Treasure Cove by Chatelaine. It has a lot of beads, fancy stitches, and this is because of the Remarkably Bright Creatures book, and so kind of made us fall in love with octopuses. And I hand dyed this fabric. So I dyed this fabric, and I don't love stitching on this fabric. It's a Monaco, but I love this color. Like, I think it turned out so good. It looks like the depths of the deep blue sea. Like, oh man, it couldn't be more perfect. So I will power through and make this work because it worked so good. So these are specialty stitches all around in here. Somewhere, I think it goes like this, have it upside down. Somewhere this isn't matching up when I come across here. So I have a mistake, and I don't know where it's at. I don't know. So I have to find it. So I'm not motivated to work on it until I find my mistake and take it out. And one of these days I just need to take the time to do it. So, but it's going to be beautiful. Originally we were going to have that done in a year. All of them were going to be done in a year because we don't need to sleep. We don't need to do housework. We don't need to work. Like, we can just sit and stitch for hours and hours all day, right? That's what we must have thought. We had very unrealistic expectations. Maybe not if we didn't start things at the speed that we do. When I say we, it's because of my friend Sarah, and now Emily too. All right, so this one is The 12 Days of Christmas by Annie Belcher. You've probably seen a lot of people doing these. These came out at Market last year, I think, Market 2024, seems like. I immediately needed to have them. And I have 1 and 2 done. And they finish into these adorable little stockings. And I found the perfect fabric. I'm having an avalanche here. So I have everything all cut. I have the finishing stuff. I have the beads, everything. And I found this perfect fabric to make them into stockings. I mean, look how perfect that is at the quilt store here locally. And this is by Basic Gray, which is, if you're a paper crafter, this was one of my favorite paper crafting designers back in the day. So I was so excited to find Basic Gray fabric. Who knew? I had no clue. So I'll be getting some more Basic Gray fabric now. So I want to finish them into like a garland, like a advent calendar garland of the 12 Days of Christmas, and hang them on our little fireplace mantle, and put a candy cane in each one. Like, I want each one to have an opening at the top and put a candy cane and be like a little advent calendar. And that lives in this bag, that Chantel 141. So since we're in Michigan, my daughter lives maybe like a half hour, 40 minutes from Williamston, where Chantel's store opened. So the three of us took a trip and went to Chantel's store, which is lovely. Like, it was really fun seeing things in person and buying some finishing pieces. And then Chantel graciously gave us each a project bag. Like, we were just talking to her, and we were talking about how we have not gone down that rabbit hole. We're not gonna do it no matter what. Like, we don't, our little Amazon bags are fine. We don't need to do that. And then she's like, oh, but project bags are so fun, and gave us each one. This one is by Farmhouse Needleworks, and wouldn't you know it, here we are going down the rabbit hole. Me more so than anybody else, but I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get those other ones, Sarah and Emily, to start going down this rabbit hole too. I can't travel alone, so they'll get there. All right, next up, I think we're getting there, believe it or not. I do. I'm sorry. I know this is a lot. Thank you for hanging in there. It's a lot. So this one is my hiking stitch, or my backpacking stitch. So I bought this for this pattern, and I like all 4 of them, but I'm working on this one right now. My daughter and I had backpacked Isle Royale a few years ago, Isle Royale National Park. Just her and I, a solo backpack trip. Took us 8 days, and we backpacked across the island, which is like, I don't know, 40 some miles we went. It was the best trip of my life. Like, honestly, hands down, the memories we made, it was the best trip of my life. We've since gone back twice. My husband's gone with us, and we've gone shorter trips and did more like day hiking, day trips, and it's just the most fabulous place in the world, I think. I love the disconnect. I love the outdoors. Living out of a backpack, not showering for 8 days. I'm good with that. No phone. So this is where I'm at on my moose. So I work on this whenever we go camping, backpacking. It's kind of on a grungy fabric. I have it written down in my fabric stash because this is just a piece of it, but I don't have it written in here what it is. But it's kind of a dirty grungy, so if it gets dirty working on it, I don't care. You know, it adds to the piece. I think it's fine. And instead of the DMC black that is all stitched in, I am using some Threadworks. Sorry, loud car just went by. And I'm using this like variegated green by Threadworks in this brown, because I thought this was the perfect moose color. Like, I don't know if you can see it here, but I thought it was a great moose color. So I'm using those instead of this all being black. I'm doing the green and the brown, and then I'll do that in the called for. That's why I have so many projects too, is because I just like to try all the flosses and the things, you know? You don't know if you like it unless you try it. All right. And this one is by Lola Crow. I'm not going to pull up a picture of this because I have it a lot done, and you've probably seen it. So you'll get a great idea of what the looks of this. So this is the Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow. And like I said, I have a lot done on this bad boy. I need to get back to it. This is last year's stitch along. I'm stitching this on a 40 count Bee Stitch Me by April Showers by Bee Stitch Me, stitching 1/2 with all of the called for DMC. So all of the DMC. And I kept up on that pretty good, and then I got behind and lost motivation. So eventually I'll get that one done. But that one, I like how Lola Crow, when she does her sales, like, she gives you information about each of the animals as they're released and just all the little details. So I really like that. It's fun to learn about them. All right, this one is Garden of Zig by Ink Circles, and I'm stitching this on a 40 count Bee Stitch Me Gold Rush 1/2. I was in the Bee Stitch Me 40 count club for a while, so you'll see quite a few Bee Stitch Me fabrics because I really do like them. But I have a nice little stash now, so it's time to hold off. Then I'm not tempted to start more things. So it's bigger than this. It duplicates, has another thing that comes down here. This was a stitch along, a sale that was hosted by the Hathaway sisters. And that was really fun. You had to change everything about it. Like you had to change your fabric, your colors. You couldn't use anything. You couldn't use the called for. So I went through and used my Sarah Renee Clark color cards. If you don't have these, I love them. They're great. So I went through and found 3 color cards that I thought were kind of similar color palettes, but not really, you know. And I used that just to pull some products from my stash using the fabric as the inspiration. I wanted to use that fabric. So I have some Valdani, some Weeks in here. Valdani, Week, and Weeks, it looks like. It's only 5 colors. And yeah, that's all it is. And 1 DMC. So eventually I'll get that done. I didn't keep up. No surprise. All right, next up we have When Cardinals Appear by JBW Designs. She is out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. I love that she's a local, relatively local designer. So this one I'm stitching for my late mother-in-law and late father-in-laws. Every time when I was half marathon training, whenever I would see cardinals on the trail, I would always think of my father-in-law and how he would have just been shocked that I was training for a marathon. And my mother-in-law liked birds, and so this was just very fitting. So I'm doing this as a tribute piece for them. And this is stitched on a very fancy Oak Bristol 46 count Zweigart from Hobby Lobby. And I don't love the fabric. It's not bad, it's okay, but I think when I stretch it to frame it, it is gonna be really difficult because I feel like the weave goes like this. I don't know. So when I put it in a hoop, it's really difficult to get it straight in the hoop, the weave, to look straight. So I'm a little concerned about that, but we're gonna go with it. And I'm using the called for DNC. So, going back to Octopus Treasure Cove. So I have those, talking about my mother-in-law, remind me of her. So I have those threads, or flosses. I don't know why I keep calling them threads. Those flosses stored in this box here. She liked cigar boxes, and this was one of the ones she had. So now I grab these cool cigar boxes whenever I see them at the thrift store or anywhere. I try to grab them. So that's where I keep my Octopus Treasure Cove. And that has Vicki Clayton silk, so she graciously did a conversion for us for the the Glorianas that are hard to find. They might be getting easier now. But it has some treasure braid, and it has some dinky dyes, it has DMC, it has some Karen water lilies. So that was what inspired me to do this piece, besides the book. Like listening to the book and then all of these different flosses, I was really excited to try them and how many different ones in one piece. Like I feel like it's going to give it a really fun look. And with the specialty stitches, so that intrigued me. And then I bought the bead pack from European Cross Stitch. So they sell bead packs for all chatelaines. So I bought the bead pack so I didn't have to source them myself, and just made it a lot easier. It was worth it, you know, just to get them. Because, yeah, it was a lot of work sourcing those threads, like, to find them. You know, you have to order from a few different places to get, and if they're not in stock and in stock, and it can be quite the challenge. All right, next up, we're getting there. Thanks for hanging in there. I appreciate it. I think I'm gonna love doing this. I really do. All right, so this one is probably a lot of you, most of you have seen this. This is Teresa Kogut. This is probably my, no, I don't want to say first big project, so I showed you Fall Fairy. That definitely was This one I didn't buy the first time I was at Country Needleworks, and I didn't even buy it the second time. But then I bought it the third time. And again, I ended up writing on here. I don't do that anymore. I've learned. So this is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut, and it's a big one. It is, and it says, "Let love reign in your heart and home." And I love that. I think that is beautiful. And I'm really excited to get to these flowers here. I think those are going to be so nice to stitch. So I splurged on the Vicki Clayton silks for this because I love Vicki. Oh, I love her silks. They're so nice. I'm collecting them. Let's be honest. I'm in the silk club, the variegated. So every month I get a shipment from her. And I'm working on collecting all of them. That goes back to my like to collect. Like to collect all of them. I don't want one. I want them all. But I'm very grateful for the stash collection I have because, you know, things are getting more expensive. And we like to say we're planning for our retirement. That's what Sarah and I tend to say. Planning for our retirement. So, all right. So that's Let Love Rain, and this is stitched on a 40 count by Fox and Rabbit. This is my only Fox and Rabbit fabric, and I love it. I need some more Fox and Rabbit in my life. Holy cow, is it nice. The combination of this Fox and Rabbit fabric with the Vicki Claytons is so luxurious to stitch on. It might be my favorite fabric and floss combination right now. Oh, but it's so good. So she's gonna be big. I mean, this is a full fat quarter. I don't know how far down it's gonna go. Not that far, probably maybe like here, I'm gonna say. She's gonna be a big girl. We'll call her a 5-year project. That'd be nice if she could be done in 5 years. I'd be pretty happy about that. One day I need to just like work on a project till it's done and then see how long it actually takes, right? Okay, we're moving over to here. We only have one pile and then one other project. So we're getting there. We're almost done. Okay, this one I got at the thrift store, and I think this is so cool. First off, this is in my very first project bag that I made. Very proud of this. I had no idea how to use a zipper foot. Not a clue. I'm like, well, this looks like a zipper foot. I just kind of put it in. I didn't watch a video. Just figured it out. That's how I do it. So that is, you can see right here, it's not perfect, but you know what? I think for doing a lined bag, I watched Elizabeth Ann Can Stitched. I watched her tutorial on YouTube. So if you're interested in watching tutorial on that, I'll try to link the Tiger Lily and the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch videos. I don't know if I'll know how to link yet. I'm not the greatest at technology, so this is going to be a really large learning curve for me, but we're going to do it. With YouTube and all of the information out there, I can do it. I can figure it out. I have a daughter that's in IT. Like, I can do it. She'll help me. But this pattern I got at the thrift store because I found this book. It was $1. So it was $1 when I went in there, and it's in Dutch. This whole book is in Dutch. And I looked it up what year it was from because either that or I found it in here. And I don't remember, but it's old. And it's just got a lot of really cool things in there. But the thing that, it was $1, that intrigued me. I like to spend $1. But this sampler right here I thought was really neat. Like, I like this border. I thought this peacock right here. I like this peacock. And then I think these are probably like their initials maybe. Like I feel like you have a man and a woman in the middle, and you have their initials, and then this says something 1778. So I don't know what that means. I have no idea. I don't know, but it's really cool. But what made me most excited was the colors. When I pulled it, they look nothing like the sampler. Like, look at that. So it's just a lot more vibrant and pretty than what this looks. So I was intrigued to stitch this anyways, but then when I pulled the color, the fat flosses, I just kept thinking about it. I was like, well, I need to do that. So I did. I started it. I haven't made it very far. This is where I'm at. So I'm going to do the bones of the border first, and then that way I can go back and work on the flowers and count off of the border to do some of those motifs and things. And that is stitch on a 40 count Verdal even weave, one more reproduction by Bee Stitch Me. And Sarah gifted me this. She actually gave me 4 of these Verdals, so that was super generous of her, because yeah, she didn't care for them, and she knows where they're at if she wants them back. I told her, but yeah, that was so generous. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. I know I've said that, but I'll tell you again. And then yeah, there's just some other, like, how fun is this rug? Oh my god, can you imagine? Look at that. I don't know, there's just a lot of really cool things in here, so a lot of things that intrigued me. I feel lucky to have such a good thrift store where I find unique things like that. All right, next up, this one I can't show you. This is a secret stitch. I only have one secret stitch, and I haven't worked on it, so I don't, yeah. Here's the colors, though. I will show you that. Beautiful colors. Absolutely beautiful colors. Oh, they're so vibrant. So that one I can't show you, but it's in my WIP pile. And then this one is the Counting Puddles Books Are Magic. This is really pretty. And I'm gonna do this one with, actually this is a stitch along that Sarah and my daughter and my future daughter-in-law, like, we are all gonna do this together, but we've had one video night where we started it, and that was that. So I did a Vicky Clayton silk conversion for it, and this is on some 49th and Market cardstock I wrote this on. So that's what I mean, like, when I say my paper crafting and sewing and stitching is all going full circle, like, I am liking and incorporating some of my paper crafting stuff to make floss tags and fun little reference things and things like that. Just makes them cute. But there's the silks. Can't really see them very well, but they're so pretty. And I have the saddest little start on this. It's really sad. Sarah also gifted me this fabric. That's it. That's all we got. It's an opalescent by Bee Stitch Me. That's all I know. So yeah, we split a fat quarter, and that's all. Nothing more to say about that other than that's all I got. Okay, this one has been pretty much, I've been monogamous on this for a while now, since it started. Because I'm barely keeping up. I need to do a lot of stitching tomorrow, and I don't know, by the mess I have, I'm not going to be doing that, because I'm going to be cleaning up my mess, what I'm going to be doing. But this is the Lola Crow Extraordinary Birds sale that's going on for this year right now. And here's where I'm at. And this is stitched on the called for 40 count sandbar by Bee Stitch Me. And it is stitched 1/2, and hold on here, I should just grab a couple clips. Look at that owl. He's fun. So I need to do, so this was a rest week where a pattern comes out every week, a section. It's a mystery sale. You don't know what the finished result's gonna look like. So I need to finish the bird here, and then there is a bird up in here I haven't done, and then the peacock came out last week right here. So by Friday, I would like to have this bird, which is only like 100 stitches, no problem, and this bird done. If I can get that much done and just have the peacock by Friday left to do, I'll still technically be a week behind, and I'll be really happy with that because that will be the most I've stayed caught up on any sale so far. And I really want to stay caught up. I really do. So yeah, and I kind of, the way I did this, I wasted a lot of fabric, but I wanted it to have the bottom part, the sand, like the sandy in the sky, so I tried to position it on here a little bit to get that effect. I probably could have gone a little lower, but it's okay. So I'm very happy with that. It's a really cool fabric. And I am using all the called fors. And my flosses for that are in my box down there because, like I said, I've been pretty monogamous on that. Can't show you a picture because it's a mystery sale. All right, and then this one is my other to-go project. This one I bought at the Jingle Ball this year. And so this year for 2024, for the Jingle Ball, we rented an Airbnb. Sarah and Emily and I did. We rented an Airbnb and we hunkered down and watched the Jingle Ball and Stitch, and we went out to eat, and it was so fun. I don't know, we would like to do that again this year. I don't know. I'm trying to save money. Like, I need to save money. So I don't know if it's going to work out for me to be able to do that yet, because, you know, you got to draw the line, right? You have to say, okay, I can't save money if I don't stop spending it, right? And life is expensive, but this is Making Spirits Bright, and it's by Satsuma Street, and it is a big chunky pillow. Big. Use 4 strands of floss on this, so I think that's really cool. And I love those tassels are amazing. I'm not even bothering to bobbinate the floss because you use 4 strands, so I'm just pulling it out of the skein as I use it. But it's so pretty. And this is my other to go because it's so easy to see. So this is 4 strands of floss over 2. And so it ends up to be, since it's on a 20 count antique white linen, it ends up being a 10 count Aida basically. And so they're big. They're big X's. It's so easy to see and so easy to stitch on. It's a joy. So that's my other travel project because I can see it really easily. And it's a lot of block stitching, so you don't have to do a ton of counting. And I can have the pattern and markup RXP on my phone, and it just works really well. All right, this is Lily of the Woods by Mirabilia. These last 2, we're down to two projects. The last 2 are Mirabilias. So this one is Lily of the Woods, the Dreaming Fairy. And I will need to pull up a picture because the pattern, it didn't come with the cover photo. I bought it, I don't remember where I bought it, but wherever. D-Stash, probably. I snoozed myself from D-Stash because I like to buy things off of there because you see a lot of fun, unique things and their deals sometimes. I'm in my vintage era, that's what I call it. I have a lot of vintage patterns in the works, in the wings to be due one day. All right, so Mirabilia, Lily of the Woods, the Dreaming Fairy. And since I love the woods, I don't know how good you'll be able to see this, but we'll try. But oh, she's so pretty. Like, Try not to get that reflection. My box reflecting. She's so gorgeous. Like, look at those wings. And she's full of beads and treasure and cryonic and petite treasure braid. So pretty. So I have all of the stuff for her in here. This is a little tackle box, actually. It works really well to keep all of the beads and things. I don't want to dump them everywhere, but it works really well to keep them in there. And I think I'm missing some floss because I feel like there's more floss than what I have in here. So I don't think I have everything I need for her. I think I had enough to get started. So I need to check that because, yeah, there is a lot more colors listed than what I have in here. So I need to figure that out. But I'm super happy with this fabric. I also dyed this fabric. And I'm enjoying learning how to dye fabric. So this is on, I bought a grab bag of color and cotton white Zweigart. And they were pretty good sized pieces. And so this was in that gray bag. But look how perfect that color is for in the forest. Like, I mean, you just couldn't have more of a woodsy feel. So I did have to end up frogging. This is really loose because I loosened up the scroll bars when I'm not working on it, so it just doesn't stretch my fabric out. So I loosen it up and I'll tighten it when I actually work on it. But this, I had to frog all of this out, and this is like half stitches. So luckily it went back in really quickly. If you don't know what frog means, that means like undo it, rip it out. You have to rip it out, rip it. So yeah, I had to frog all that and put it back in. It's fine. It is what it is. Pay attention. Don't count wrong. Else you're going to frog. Or you're going to work your way around it, right? Okay, we are at our very last project here, folks. Thank you. If you have made it this far, thank you. All right, so this one is an extra special project. And I saved this for last purposely. So I've talked about my thrift store, how much I love it. Well, there's this project that was on Sarah's unicorn list, and I had one that was on my unicorn list. I didn't bring the pattern up here, but I'm working on kitting mine up because I'm going to start that in December probably. So anyways, this project, it had been on Sarah's unicorn, and we would see it on D-Stash, and no way are we gonna pay that price. Just not gonna happen. Sarah, you know, I had no intention of stitching it at all. Sarah kept saying, I just know it's gonna turn up at your little thrift store. So many cool things turn up there. I just know it. And so one day, my husband and I are sitting here on the couch, and I said, let's run downtown and just go to the thrift store. And he doesn't ever go with me. Like, usually I go down there myself. And he was like, yeah, I'll go with you today. I'm like, okay. So I go down there, and I, of course, go right to my little craft corner. That's where I hang out. And I go over there, and they had gotten a ton of cross-stitch stuff. Like, holy cow, like, it was the mother load. I mean, just tons of lavender and lace and just all of these really nice old patterns. First thing I did is I saw my unicorn pattern, Oh Christmas Tree. I mean, you can buy it for like $50, but I don't want to spend $50 on a pattern. They had it for 50 cents. I was so excited, along with like the forest Santa, and some other fabulous patterns that are no longer in print. So I gotta get that light shining on me. And I see this Mirabilia package, and it was missing the cover photo, like this one. And I flipped it over, and it had kind of, I don't know if it had shifted, but I think it did, because I couldn't read it. Like, it was in here like this, and it was sealed, but I quick broke the seal, which was 50 cents. I don't know why I even bothered, because I mean, I was buying it no matter what at that point. Like, I didn't even care what it was. I was buying it. It was 50 cents. But I open it up, and I see the word flag, and I like nearly started to hyperventilate. was Lady of the Flag for 50 cents. If you know, you know. So my husband is in another part of the store, and I'm texting him. I'm like, you need to come here right now. And he comes over there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like Sarah's unicorn, and it goes for like a lot of money on D-Stash. And you know, and I'm basically, there's like 2 other people in the store, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get robbed for all of these cross-stitch patterns that probably nobody else in the universe in this town has any idea. The little gold mine I've just like stumbled upon. And so then I read the history behind that project and about, you know, it being a 9/11 tribute piece. And so then I was like, I have to stitch this as well. So Sarah and I are both stitching it. We're sharing the pattern. So she has it right now, so we're swapping it back and forth. So you know, we made it, obviously we made a working copy so that we don't fold and unfold and that.